Dr. Second Chance here. I'm a licensed physician, a trained recovery coach, and a person in 13 years of long-term recovery from alcohol and narcotic use. I'm here today to answer the question, at least in part, cults, brainwashing in the recovery community? Maybe yes, maybe no. So I was watching some YouTube videos, and boy, have a lot of different groups of people been accused of being cults. All kinds of religious groups and recovery groups. So I thought I would do a series of videos on, is it a cult? How can we know? Well, there's a couple things we can do. There are analytical tools that you can use to analyze what a group is doing to have a sense if it's truly a cult or not. There are some analytical type tools you can use to evaluate the leader of that group to see if they exhibit pathologic narcissism and be more likely to be leading a cult. And finally, I want to throw out the idea that any group is a microcosm on life. There are good and bad apples within the group. There's good and bad policemen, teachers, lawyers, doctors, politicians, well, maybe not politicians. And so we also need to distinguish if we just happen to run into some bad actors that don't represent the average behavior of a group, so that we don't falsely label a group as being a cult. So with that, I'm going to list a few ideas of what you can do to think about if this group is behaving like a cult or not. I would highly recommend the book Take Back Your Life, Recovering from Cults by Jean-Jacques Lalich. And a lot of these ideas will be from that work. So one quality of a cult is a demand by the leader or the leaders that you cut ties with friends and family, and in fact, after joining the group, even begin to totally restructure your goals for life. If a group is doing these type of things, then they are behaving like a cult. Another sign of a cult is the preoccupation with actually bringing in money. And so if a group you're with is really not demanding a lot of money and is passing a little basket with a few dollars in it, then that is probably not a cult. Another quality that's often seen in cults is when the leadership demands that members move in with each other, away from family, and sort of socially isolate. If you're with a group that's demanding that you just move in without other members and no longer talk with your friends and family, then yes, that is a sign of a cult. And on the other hand, if you're part of a group where people live and move and do as they like, with whom they like, then that is not a cult. Another sign of a cult is that the leadership will require a lot of volunteer time. Now, any social organization is going to ask for volunteers to do projects and spend some time, whether it's a PTA or coaching youth hockey or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. But when a group is asking the equivalent of a full-time job just for the group, and frequently it's involved in helping the group make money by keeping the organization's expenses down very low by having everyone do it for free, then you more likely have a cult. Another sign of a cult is when the leadership demands that members follow their code of how to think, act, feel, and in fact the leaders will decide who you can date, who you can marry, how many children you can have, being totally micromanaged. And so if you're part of a group where that you can date as you like and live where you like, that is not a cult. Another sign of a cult is if the leaders require you to do things like excessive chanting, meditation, extremely hard exercise routine, because that's frequently a way of breaking you down to be open to new kinds of thinking. If they require you to do that, that's cult-like activity. If you're going to meetings or with a group in recovery and there's no chanting, excessive meditation or prolonged hard exercise to break you down, then that ain't a cult. Thanks for listening to this part one on cults, brainwashing, and the recovery community. And please subscribe to Dr. Second Chance. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.